Hello, good morning, friends. I am Piyush Patel from Department of Computer Application, Sakarjan Patel College of Engineering, and Sakarjan Patel University. Today, I explain and represent about the data structure. Now, what is the data structure? So, first of all, introduction of the data structure. Now, the data structure is a technique of storing and managing the data in database and database tools, and also in the memory of the computer system. Now, before understanding the data structure, the two main keywords is very important to understanding the data structure. First one is the data and second one is the information. Now, what is the data? So data is a one type of fact and figure, and it's a raw material, and only the data value for the information, means know any meaning of that value, know any meaning of that data value. This is called the data. Means data is one type of a raw material for information. Today I give the one example, like as I write the 5 and 105 in this presentation. So know any meaning of 5 and 105. It's only the value that it's called the data. Means it's a figure. It's a one type of a figure and the value. Now the second keyword means second keyword is information. Now what is the information? So the information is a collection of a meaningful and interrelated data. Collection of meaningful and interrelated data means some meaning of that particular data and value. Like as I write the some string after the value of 5 means 5 year. So that 5 years became some meaning, means it's give the information of the year, means 5 years. I also write the 105 after rupees 105, so it's became the one meaning 105 rupees. So information is one type of a collection of interrelated and the meaningful data. So the two important words, data and information, it's used for the data structure. Now what is the data structure? So the data structure is a mathematical and the logical model of a particular organization of the data item. Means the name of the word is data structure. So your data are arranging, storing and managing in the one structural manner, means one format. Means your data are stored in a database, table or in the memory in one particular format. This system became a data structure. Means simply meaning of the data structure. So the data structure is a data are arranging in mathematical way and the logical way. Also the data are storing, managing in the memory and the database, that it's called a data structure. It's give the one particular structure of the data. Now types of the data structure. So the two types of the data structure, primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. So what do you mean the primitive data structure? The primitive data structure are basic structure and are directly operated by the machine instruction, like as an integer, float, character and pointer. This is called a primitive data structure. Means the basic data of any information. Means the basic data type of the database table or any value, that it's called a primitive. Primitive means one type of a basic data. Now what is a non-primitive data structure? So the non-primitive data structure, it's the one a structuring of a group of homogeneous same type of the and the different type of the data item. Okay, it's a homogeneous and heterogeneous data item, it's called a non-primitive data structure. Now the further means that primitive and non-primitive data structure are divided in the wide way. In a primitive you know, integer, character, float, pointer, boolean, this type of the data, it's called a primitive data structure. In a non-primitive, so the non-primitive divided into two parts, linear data structure and the non-linear data structure. Now, once again, the linear data structure divided into two parts, static and dynamic. Now, which type of the data store in the static data structure? So the array is a one type of a static linear data structure, that is a part of a non-primitive data structure. Now, why array it's called a static linear non-primitive data structure? Because of when we implementation of the array is also the group of the data, but it's have a same data type and same name. It's called array. Now I declare the array variable, so it's a take the fixed memory location in the memory. That's why it's called a static linear data structure. Now the second part of the linear data structure is a dynamic data structure. So dynamic linear data structure also divide into three parts: linked list, stack, and queue. It's a one type of a dynamic, because of in a linked list, stack, and queue use the at a runtime memory occupation of the memory at a runtime and store the more memory in a database and also table and in the memory space. So the linked list, stack, queue, it's a dynamic data structure. In a further chapter, uh, I explain in the detail array, linked list, stack, and queue. Here is the types of the data structure. In the non-primitive, the second part it's called a non-linear data structure. So the non-linear data structure, it is divided into two parts. Means the two types of the non-linear data structure: tree and graph. Okay. Tree and graph. The both are the non-linear data structure. Also, I explain in the brief the non-linear data structure in the next chapter. Now the first one, it's called a linear data structure. So the why it's called the linear data structure? The data structure where the data item and element are organized, arranged in a sequential manner. That's why it's called a linear data structure. Means the data are arranged and managed and stored in a sequence way. Sequence way. Means starting from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that it's called a sequential way. Data element in a linear data structure are traversed one after the another, and only one element can be directly reached while traversing. Means you can traverse data in a memory in a sequence way, means one by one, no any skip and no any jump from that data. Means it's traversing and storing the data in a sequential manner. That's why it's called a linear data structure. And also, you know how many types of the linear data structure? So the array, stack, queue, and the linked list, this type of the data, it's called a linear data structure. Now the first one is the array. So what do you mean the array? The array is a collection of data item having the same name and the same data types. Array have a same name and same data type. Integer x of 10, like example, integer x of 10, one dimensional array. So x of 10 means how many element we can store in the integer x of 10? Its data type is integer. Now the name is x and this total size is 10. So the 10 element you can store in the memory. Means it's a group of the element, but its name is same, x. And array index start from the x of 0. So x of 0, x of 1, x of 2 up to x of 9. Because starting from the 0 indexing. That's why it's called a same name and the same data type. It's a collection of the data. Now what is a stack? So the stack, you know what is a stack? So stack is a one type of a LIFO structure, last in first out data structure, where element added the last will be deleted the first, All operation on the stack are performed from the one end called top, means top side. Last in first out, what do you mean the last in first out? So when we arrange the 10 dishes, 10 dish means wash dish in a catering. So the person put the first plate on the table and the second dish put on the first dish. So the when we put the first dish, it's go to the last, and the last dish, its top side, its place is the top side. So this is called a step. Means last in first out. The dish place in the first, it's go out the last, and the last put the last dish, it's go out the first. That it's called a last in first out. Now what is a queue? So the queue is a FIFO data structure, first in first out. Okay, suppose the 10 person standing in the ticket window of a railway reservation. So this is the one type of a queue. The first person give the first ticket and it's go side, out of side, means go to out of side the queue. Then second person, it's second one. So the first in first out, that it's called a queue data structure. Okay, and the two important pointer rear and front in a FIFO means a queue data structure. Now what is the linked list? That is the basically concept of a queue stack and linked list in array. Now linked list is a collection of the node where each node is made up of the data element and a reference to the next node in the sequence. Its name is the link. The multiple lists are available, multiple data are available, so